Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's Darkest Timeline. Just little old me today, no guest. No, that was a one-time deal. Maybe not, we'll see. But I have got some stuff to discuss. So, we're talking weight loss. What does it all mean, really? We've got buying and receiving gifts, getting priced out of the market, and we've got some TV, quite a lot of TV, so much TV that there wasn't room for a movie, and computer games, and some coughs apparently. Before we get started, please do consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. Share the podcast around. That's the one. Share the podcast around. Right. Enough from me. Let's get into this one. Here we go. This is CookieCast, the Darkest Timeline. Hello. How are we doing? Are we all well? Are we feeling good? Ready? I am apparently not ready because apparently I need 9,000 cables under the wheels of the chair because that helps the chair move. Follow me for more. What's that thing? Interior design. Follow me for more interior design tips. Yes, obviously that is not correct. I've had a real podcast crisis of late. I think it was sort of fairly evident last week, maybe, that how to word it. I am finding difficulty talking about the same things over and over again, even though it's the sort of not main focus, but it's a big focus in my life at the moment. Talking about all the weight loss. Part of me hopes that someone out there will find some sort of inspiration or some sort of, maybe in years to come people will study it as the dumbest thing any human ever did. But it's a big thing, and I'm sure one of those, even if you don't agree, you can maybe understand. I've done that thing where I've gone, 2 sizes in jeans down, so now if I put a bigger size of jeans on, because you don't exactly always have the smaller clothes available, I just feel like I've got to pull the belt for like 9 miles. Recently switched to smaller t-shirts. I own a handful of smaller t-shirts from previous weight loss times and recent t-shirts that were bought for me over the last couple of years that were just a size too small, which at the time I was, very much appreciated those gifts, but at the same time was like, at the time, I think there was a lot of, well, I'm never going to wear that. And you know what they say, never say never and all that. So I imagine for people who may or may not be like, oh, he's at it again, he's talking about it again, even those people might be able to say, although, achievement. So yes, only having a handful of t-shirts means that every now and then, or more often than not, I have to put what is now a bigger t-shirt on, and they're starting to look a little bit silly. Notice it most in the neck, which is a bit weird, but also makes sense. So yeah. So what I've gone with this week is I've got a series of weight loss related things that I will rattle through as quick as sort of I can to get that side of things done. Then I'm going to move on to other things. I've got some bits and bobs to talk about, 2 or 3 things. Then I'm going to move on to the entertainment stuff, the stuff that we're really here for. I'm going to talk about quite a lot of TV, a couple of computer games, one of those computer games at length. I'm going to talk about another computer game of a different format, and that'll be us done. I wouldn't normally give you a blow-by-blow rundown of where it's all going. The reason is, like I say, I think I'm feeling that other people might be feeling that, other people might be over the subject of weight loss. So, last week, I was fasting up to... It was a really weird one because I was fasting up till Friday, which opened up the opportunity for an old school weekend of debauchery, which is absolutely not the case these days. But it did offer the opportunity to have what the lesser spotted Saturday cheat meal. And you know I got amongst it in the old Saturday cheat meal area. I went with a classic, mixed it in with something new. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So, between Friday before last and last Friday, I was fasting. As is the way, as it goes these days. It's very much a thing. Currently. In theory, the end is in sight. But anyway, different subject. So, a concern arose. That concern was, and this might sound weird, I was actually concerned I was losing weight too fast. Over the space of 2 days, I lost 7 pounds by losing 4 pounds in one day and 3 pounds in another day. And it shocked and concerned me because the recent fasts have been very much... You can almost set your watch by them. It's literally, there'll be like a big loss on the first day, and then it's basically £2 a day for X number of days, and then the last couple of days you'll basically get £1 a day, and that's about it. Now, if you look at like 4 for the first, I'm going to have to do terrible maths at this point. 2 for the 4 days after that. Yep, that's right. Yeah. So you got 4, and then you add an 8, and you've got 12, best part of a stone. And add £1 a day for 2 days, you've got yourself a stone. If you at the sort of extreme end of the scale, if you put on £10 in an eating window and lose 14 the week after, you are winning by the numbers. I appreciate, all the possible things that could be said about that. But the theory is that you're winning. But this wasn't the case. £7 in the first 2 days. Didn't really feel like it was particularly. It didn't feel particularly difficult. It didn't feel particularly like it was a tough time. It just went. And I started panicking to a degree. I was like, I don't think that's supposed to go that way. I don't think that's supposed to be like that. The other thing was, if, let's say, you've got a stone to lose over the course of a week and you smash through £7 in the first 2 days, you kind of wonder where you're going to end up. If you're going to lose £2 a day for the next few days, you're going to go way over that stone and way past anything else. I was bumping up against another weight loss goal, which was a half stone area. I was bumping up against that. Anyway, I was like, so what do I do? Had to sort of think what was going to be the best, what was the best way to sort of continue. The question of, and this was like a weird one to consider, the question was whether to stop fasting almost immediately. Like, that was a fast weight loss, just stop fasting there and then. Rebalance, take a day off, end there, or all these different things. And everything seemed to go fine past that point. Obviously, it was a big jump to start with, slowed up somewhat, saw the dreaded weight gain on day 5, 0.2 of a pound on. Can't really describe the rage it induces. Multitude of feelings, thoughts and emotions go through your mind in the best part of like 2 or 3 seconds. It's literally like, what's the fucking point? What's gone wrong? What happened? What did I drink that I shouldn't have done? How many calories went into it? All in the space of about 3 seconds. It's literally like bam, 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 bam. I think the what is the fucking point? That's the one that rises to the top. And I will say this from experience: the absolute best possible way to start your day off badly puts you in a foul mood. Obviously, you're at day 5 of no eating, so you're going to be in a bad mood anyway. You've got that on top of it. It is the perfect recipe for absolute disaster. What I can say is this. I did eventually achieve that current weight loss goal. I've done the quick maths today as day 1 of new fast, and work on the principle by this time next week. There's a possibility that I could be within spitting distance of, drum roll please, the next weight loss goal, which is technically the last weight loss goal. Now, technically is the operative word there, because won't actually be enough. It will be enough to put me within the stone of the final goal. I don't think I'll see it this week. But possibility of seeing it next week is looming at this point, and it's scary as hell. So, I mean, stay tuned for that one. The other thing, and I will say this, if at any point anybody's like, man, I am bored of listening to this idiot talk about losing weight. Well, once achieving that weight loss goal, we will enter phase 3. Phase 3 is the start of the final phase. And the goal there is to move to a weight loss / maintenance phase of what will be ultimately life. Something that I'll come back to in a little while, and we'll talk about a little bit more at length. But let's leave it there, shall we? One person right now is like, oh man, I want to know. Everyone else is like, thank the maker. Can we make a rule? Us here now, like-minded individuals, human beings, can we make a rule that it's not okay to no, it's not fair. So I had what is one of my least favourite situations. And it's a little hard to explain. It's a little difficult to explain. It's just one of my least favourite situations, and that is somebody bought me a gift. Now I know what you're thinking, but that wasn't the end of what I was saying. So I just let it sit for a moment for comedy effect. Somebody bought me a gift at a point in time that I wasn't expecting. And that isn't true. It's a really fine sort. So, to my knowledge, the last point in time I bought somebody a gift, and I was like, here is a gift. It is largely to give you a gift for a point in time when you would buy a gift, and also to get you a gift for any gifts that may or may not have been missed up to this point. Obviously, you have birthdays, you have Christmas, and all things like that. So there is also an additional gift in case anything's been missed at this point. There we go. That should have been that. But it wasn't that. Saw a friend recently. Saw a friend at the weekend. And I mean, we are well and truly into March at this point in time. At time of recording, we are well and truly into March. I'm pretty sure this will go out in April. But we're well and truly into March at this point in time. I didn't think I was going to have to deal with any gifts. I don't have a birthday until middle of the year. And Christmas was a while ago. Simple. Easy. Elegant. The phrase, there's just a little something for you from the festive period. I'm like, God damn it. Here's what I should have done. What I should have done is gone back in time, bought the emergency gift, put it in the car, taken it with me, and then been prepared. Part of me knew this. However, I was relying on the makeup gift. The makeup gift was a little placeholder. It was a little like, hey, smooth the waters, make everything right. The problem being is if the makeup gift made everything right, put everything to even. And yes, Christmas has been and gone since our last meeting. And I should have seen it, and I didn't. It's okay, though. It's okay. It's fine, because it was just a small token gift. And it wasn't all that great. It was just a gift in a bag. It wasn't anything special. No, of course that's not the case. Of course that's not true. I peered into the top of the bag and I went, oh, you son of a bitch. Because I could see. I knew. And I was like, fuck. because I could see a symbol I know well, and I went, bollocks. That's going to be really good. No matter what it is, it's going to be really good. It's going to be awesome. I took the gift. I said, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Obviously, I've got a little out of sync with gifts right now. Thinking it's not Christmas, but it has been, and I should have. So I kind of did that. I'll make things right. I'll make it up. I put the gift in the car. I drove away feeling like just the worst. The worst. I drive home. I get home. And I come in. I bring all of my goods in from the car, including said gift bag. Even the fucking bag. Even the fucking bag. It wasn't no cardboard gift bag for me. No. Plastic. Reusable. It was like a shopping bag. There was... I opened the bag. I was like, I mean, how good can it really be? Yes, it's got a well-known symbol that I love so much so that I've got, I'm pretty sure, like 2 tattoos at this point in time of that actual symbol and multiple other tattoos relating to that symbol. But it can't be that good. I took out the first of the gifts. I went, oh, for fuck's sake, look at this. This is fucking fantastic. Could it get worse? Could it get worse? Of course it could get fucking worse. I took the second gift out and I was like, this gift is just phenomenal. It's a phenomenal gift. It's a fantastic gift. Third gift, great gift, fantastic gift. Third gift, 3 gifts, same bag. I am at this point like, I'm bordering like, part of me is like, do I need to have a little cry about this? Do I need to, what's the, I want to say, what's the Japanese thing where it's it's not Serpico, that's like something else. It's going to bug me now. So the entire interaction is basically, I feel terrible. I have to presume the other person's like, oh, didn't get me a gift, did you? I got you a gift. Didn't get me a gift, though. Oh, maybe we're not real friends. It's all right, because, we see each other all the time. Absolutely don't. It's like probably twice a year. At this rate, I'll have to do I got you a gift. Here's last Christmas gift, and here's this Christmas's gift. Hope you enjoy. You know what's worse? Since this happened on Saturday, it's Monday today, all I do is spend my time going, what would be a really great gift? What would be a gift that this person would love? What fantastic item says, I can buy good gifts too. And you know what I came up with? Absolutely nothing. Because everything I'm like, I already got them that. I've already bought them that before. That is a great gift that I already got them. That's all it is. That's all I spend my time doing at the moment. All I've been doing for the last 3 days is going, what about... No. I want to say there should be rules, but I don't know what the rule would be. Some people would argue that there are rules, and those rules are if there's a point in time that you should buy a gift. Buy a fucking gift. I'm mortified. I don't want to be known as guy that doesn't buy gifts. I buy gifts all the time. Too many gifts. I did have an idea. I put this whole idea together. I put this whole plan together. I was like, right, I've got this amazing idea. It's thoughtful. It's generous. It's all of the things that a gift should be. And then next thing I was like, that's a terrible idea. You should be ashamed of yourself. You sicken me. Yeah, that's basically how it's gone for the last few days. I went into a coffee shop I go to a lot, and I said to them, I will have the coffee I get every single time I get a coffee. And they said, would you like anything extra? I said, no, just the coffee that I get all the time. I get it a lot, but I get it all the time. It's always the same. I'll just have it like that, please. And they said, cool. And then they charged me the national debt of a small country. And I said, huh. And I paid my money. And I walked down the other end of the place, and I went, huh. Firstly, doing that, I should have questioned that, because that's a lot of money. Why didn't I question it? But also I was like, oh man, can you imagine if they've put the price of my coffee up? I was like, no, that is a mistake, because that's not, oh, by the way, we've put the price up 5 pence, or, oh, by the way, we've put the price up 10, even 15 pence. It's not. It's, we've put the price up. I think it's like 10%. So I'm like, has to be a mistake. It's got to be a mistake. I think, if I'm honest, I think there was a small interaction between me and somebody else in the store who I've seen and spoken to, been served by many times before. There was a friendly interaction between me and them. But I wasn't served by them, I was served by someone else. And maybe that person, I don't know, took some sort of random offence to the interaction. And they were like, I'm going to get my own back on you, and I'm going to charge you more for coffee somehow. I was like, have I been asked a question about my drink and I've gone, oh no, but what I should have said was yes. Like, did they say, do you want the super expensive, or do you not want the super expensive beans and extra whatever? And I've gone, oh no. And they've gone, oh right, okay, so you do want them, because we're asking people in backwards terms. I was like, I must have said something wrong. That's it. That's what's happened. I got my coffee, and later on I drank it and went, did taste any different? Well, anyway, it's a one-off. That was on Thursday. Sunday morning. Me and my son, just us men, chilling. I was like, let's go do some jobs. I need to buy some oil. That wasn't the only thing. There's 2 things on my list. I have absolutely no idea what the other thing was. Anyway, I needed to buy some oil. I was like, let's go get a drink. It was tape. That was it. Finger tape. Oil and finger tape. I did not get any finger tape. Yeah. Very disappointing, Alton. I did get some oil. So, yay. So I said to my son, I was like, do you want a drink? He was like, yeah, I'll have a drink. I was like, all right, let's go get a drink. I go in, I walk in, the lady in a different establishment, same company. Lady in there, she does this thing, and I'm a bit like, bro, I don't know how I feel about this. She uses my name a lot. There's a problem. My name on the app for this establishment is not the name I go by. It's my full name, and I don't ever use that. So she calls me by my full name, having been in there many, many times and used the app every time I go in there. She calls me by my full name, and I'm like, dude, can we not? Because there's like 2 people on this entire planet that call me by that name. Not a fan, if I'm honest. Anyway, I go in. She's like, hi. Use my name. And then she's like, do you want, basically the old, do you want your usual? And I said, sure. I was like, can I get one for the guy as well? Little guy, little one. She's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then she told me how much it was, and it was the same price it was on Thursday, and I went, shit, they've put the price up. What I wanted to say was, has the price gone up? So that she could then say, oh yes, the price of the drinks has recently gone up. And I could then take that opportunity to say, it's gone up a lot. Like a lot. It's not just a little bit, it's a lot. It's 55 pence it's gone up. That's a lot of money for hot water and beans. And honestly, it was already a lot of money. It had already gone through my original threshold. So I stood there and I went, I didn't say any of those things. I just beeped the app, beeped the pay. I paid, and that was that. And I walked down and I went, well, there we go. Another product that I have been priced out of the market on, because that amount is officially way too much money to spend on a cup of coffee. It has officially happened. Today at lunchtime, the one treat that I would get that would make the day even remotely somewhat better, I did not buy today. And yeah, that was that. I was like, oh, let's go to this one or this one or this one or this one or this one. There's many to choose from. That's kind of the point. I didn't go to any of them. I got a fizzy drink instead, which that's a problem in and of itself. But that's a whole other thing to deal with. And I still consider it to be a victory because I paid £2 and I got 2 of them. There you go. That's my win for the day. But yes, I have been officially priced out of the market in the coffee world. The biggest thing that I'm dealing with at the moment is just chalking things off in life. So this is now another thing I'm having to cross off the life list. Basically, I can't afford to pay that money for that item, so I now no longer buy that item. I could, whatever, switch to a different establishment. I think I've whittled coffee buying down to the place that I've been going to multiple times a week. And as I always say to people, yes, I pay a ridiculous amount of money for coffee. But when you compare it to the things that I used to do, it's probably a win. Well, apparently we ain't doing that anymore either. And all I talk about these days to people is how ultimately getting older is just crossing more stuff off your list. In this situation, it's I can't afford to do that anymore, so I'm not going to do it. But it's all of the, the other things like, oh, I'm doing this for the health benefits. I'm not doing this for the health benefits. Life is ultimately just chalking things off until you reach a state of just being completely, utterly boring. You don't do anything. You don't go anywhere. You don't have things. You don't do anything. You get up. You do some form of exercise. You don't eat or drink anything. You do some other form of exercise. You should probably fit some stretching in there. It's all you talk about. You eat the calorie equivalent of beige, bland, tasteless food. And then ultimately you go to bed because there's no joy left in life. And what else are you going to do with your time? You just go to bed. Because being awake just isn't fun anymore. There are things in my life I look at now and I think, maybe I should just say I've lived a long 40-something years. The last few are going to get real. I'm going to be like Frank Reynolds in that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Going to get real weird up in this bitch. Here's a funny little story. Funny to me, might not be funny to you, but it makes me chuckle. Just the mentality of it. A few months ago, my son's bed got converted from a cot to a bed, so that gives you kind of idea of the sort of age range he's at. And it was basically we'll do this. There'll be a series of rules. And if you follow those rules, that's fine. If you can't follow those rules, then, you'll have to go back into being a cot like a baby. That's basically how you do it at this point in time. And up until very recently, he's been following the rules. You don't get out of bed. You don't leave your bedroom. You don't do all of these things because ultimately they are or could be dangerous. Last week or so, he has been breaking those rules, has been getting out of bed, has been leaving his bedroom. And then there's been a lot of, you're not supposed to do that, that it could be dangerous. You could end up, wandering around the house and nobody knows and all these sorts of things, especially for the fact that he seems to be getting up earlier and earlier when he does it. All of this. Just at the point in time that we were starting to wonder whether it was going to be a problem, something else happened. And on one side, you've got all of the rule breaches, all of the you've done something you're not supposed to, all of this. And on the other hand, you've got what has got to be one of the cutest things ever, and it kind of overrides the rules. So the other morning, oh bless him, the other morning, I heard the door go, and knew he was out of bed. And it was kind of, it'd been 2 or 3 days at this point, and this was like day 3, and it was a bit like, oh man, I'm really gonna have to discipline him. Really gonna have to talk to him about like why he's not supposed to do it. The fact that he should just call because the monitor's on, so he could just say, hey, I'm awake. Can you come and get me? one morning he was like, oh, well, I need a clean nappy because, I need a clean nappy. So this is like day 3 and we're like, for fuck's sake, gonna have to deal with this. This is really not good. All of that. So called across the land into him. And he comes into the bedroom. Little bit sheepish, bit like, but he's carrying something. I was like, oh, what have you got there? Bless him. He brought all of his clothes. So and this is, I think about it so much. I'm like, this isn't like he's picked up a pile of clothes off his sister's bed and gone, this is what I'm wearing today because it was laid out for me and I've got trousers and a t-shirt and socks, and a long sleeve or a hoodie or whatever. No. He's got out of bed. He's gone into his sock drawer, got a pair of socks. He's gone into his trousers drawer, got a pair of trousers. And then, I don't know if he's like pulled down a t-shirt, because his t-shirts are all like t-shirts and long sleeves and stuff, are all on like a clothing rack, on hangers on a clothing rack. But he's come through carrying the trousers, t-shirt, long sleeve, socks, all of this, ready to come and get dressed. But it's like, I don't know if it's like some sort of like peace offering or like, well, I'm allowed to come out of my bedroom and I'm allowed to come in and see you guys because I brought my clothes. So that means I can get dressed. And I saved you lot a job. But I just keep thinking about the mentality of it. Because this isn't something he's been taught. At no point has anybody ever said to him, right, mate, you need to get your socks, your trousers, your t-shirt. There are times, a lot of times, when I'll say to him, right, mate, what do you want to wear today? Do you want to wear this t-shirt or this t-shirt? Oh, no, I don't want those. What about this t-shirt? Do you like this one? Oh, yeah. What about jumper? Do you want this jumper or do you want this jumper? No. This jumper or this jumper? No. What about this one? Yeah, I'll have that one. Okay, so we've got you some socks. We've got Paw Patrol on. We've got you a pair of like jogger bottoms or trousers or jeans or whatever. We've got you a t-shirt that's probably got a superhero on. And we've got you either a long sleeve top that's also probably got a superhero on, or a hoodie, jumper, sweatshirt type deal that's either super trendy or got a superhero on. Yeah, is this a good outfit for you? Yeah, it's a good outfit. All right, let's go and get you dressed. Go in, clean nappy, get dressed. So that's what he knows. Nobody has ever said to him, you can't come out of your bedroom unless you go and collect all of the items of clothing that you need to get dressed for the day. Because you know what items you need. Oh, you need a pair of socks. You need some trousers and a t-shirt and stuff. Nobody's ever said that to him. Nobody's ever said, oh, you're up now. Why don't you go back and grab a pair of socks? Oh, why don't you go and see about a t-shirt? Like, he's half dressed and, oh, go and get yourself a t. Never has that been a conversation. He has some involvement, some choice in what he wears every day, but he's there with you doing it. So, day 3, he comes tottering out with this pile of clothes. And to be the other thing, all perfectly serviceable apart from the sweatshirt. Leon's like, if I'm honest, mate, that sweatshirt doesn't really go with what you've picked. We'll just get you another one. Other than that, all that outfit works. I'm laughing, she's laughing, we're all having a great time. Day 2, same again, rocks up, full pile of clothes. here we go. I brought my clothes. Let's get. Now then, I think that this was Sunday. Yeah, is that track like yesterday? And he didn't have to go anywhere yesterday morning. Didn't have to leave the house, so that meant he could sit and do some watching. So I didn't ultimately end up getting dressed straight away. This morning rolls round, and there he is again, first thing in the morning, pile of clothes, jumping on me, doing some kind of sumo splash on me at 7 o'clock in the morning with a full bladder. I'm like, I think something might rupture at this point in time. So I just keep thinking about it and thinking, obviously it's always interesting to watch children develop, like their minds develop. And I don't know if he's like, I know I'm not supposed to leave my bedroom, but if I take my clothes with me, then I've done something good and maybe they'll let me off. Is it that? Is that the mentality? Is that what he's thinking? I can't get over it. I can't get past it. I don't know of any of my other children. Honestly, my children are fairly self-sufficient. My older two, you could probably pretty much leave them mostly. My eldest, she could have been in like a Japanese kind of situation where 12 years old, send her out into the world, and she'd have been fine. My middle daughter, she can do. If you said, here's a list of jobs that you need to do in the morning, she'd rattle off 89% of those jobs without batting an eyelid. There'd just be that one thing where you're like, did you do this job? Oh, no, totally forgot. That'd be the end of that conversation. She wouldn't then, do it. My youngest daughter very much had it all, like, not forced as such, but she's very much like, I don't want to do any of these things. And you're like, okay, that doesn't change anything. You still need to get up, get out of bed, get dressed, hair, teeth, breakfast, toilet. All of these things need doing. Just because you don't want to do them doesn't change any of that. And if you give her about 3 times longer than she's actually got, she'll get them all done. All of my children are different in almost every possible, like none of them are the same. They have a lot of similarities. They have a lot of differences. And because of that, I think that's where I'm like, how has he come up with this on his own? How has his mind put all these pieces together? And honestly, if he'd have just been rocking up out of his bedroom on a morning, like, I know I'm not supposed to come out, but fuck you guys, then, there'd have been some sort of disciplinary action at this point in time. But because he rocks up with a little pile of clothes, like, I brought my clothes, it's basically doing the job. It's doing it as intended, because you can't be annoyed or even angry or anything like that, because bless him, he's brought his little pile of clothes with him that he selected himself. He's picked them all himself. He's got himself a pair of socks, trousers, t-shirt, long sleeve, or a hoodie, or a sweatshirt. He's done it all on his own. And it all works. At no point in time has Lamb turned around and been like, mate, none of that worked as an outfit. She just dresses him. And off he goes for some breakfast. It's like, it's my early morning in the morning, and I'm like part of me is kind of excited about the fact that I'm going to have to face this little face and this little pile of clothes in the morning. I can bet you cash money he won't do it. He'll rock. I'll be like waking him up or something. Very unlikely. He's up before most people in the house. But I'm like, is he going to rock up in the morning with a little pile of clothes? Because I'm going to think that is absolutely phenomenal. Brilliant. Right, let's get into the entertainment side of things. I'd hoped to offer up a movie this week. Movies, not so much at the moment, not flowing as much at the moment. I've got a couple on a watch list, not that kind of watch list. Some of them are even new, but I'll explain. So let's talk about some TV stuff, and we'll get to how that's impacting the movies. So, firstly on the list is season 3 of Invincible. I've watched episodes 6 and 7. 6 had an element of a new bad guy emerged, voiced by Aaron Paul, Breaking Bad fame, and from the moment it all started and it all established the sort of premise, I was like, I already know what's going to happen. Now, as I've said before, Len sees this as a curse. I always work out what's going on right at the beginning. She says, I ruin it for myself and others. And I'm like, I'd just like to know what's happening. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the outcome. I knew how the episode was going to end. And that kind of meant the rest was redundant in some ways. It's difficult to watch something like that when you know what the outcome's going to be. It's a bit like, and especially because it always centers around they want you to feel something. They want you to feel a particular way. If you've already worked it out, you don't get that feeling from the impact. I always look at it like, how do people not get it? But apparently that's a me thing. And it's a lot of Invincible makes you answer the question, what if superheroes were real, and how would that impact the rest of us, the little people type thing? If two superheroes have a fight in a populated area, it's going to be collateral damage. What happens about that? What happens when you've got somebody who is basically the equivalent of, I'm just using this as an example, basically the equivalent of Superman? What if they go bad? What then? It's all that. It's all that kind of, what do we do if the heroes are the bad guys? So episode 6 dealt with a lot of the end of series 1, when Omni-Man and Invincible have the fight that they have, and they basically just trash like an entire city. People died, and Mark / Invincible has to go on and carry on living on Earth and all of that, whereas Nolan, Omni-Man, left the planet, walked away from all of that stuff. You've got the fact that there's Oliver, the brother / Omni-Man's other son, who's dealing with the fact that everybody on Earth hates his father. You've got all of those sorts of things kind of lead to a lot of questions and stuff. Which brings us to episode 7, where the question of what if Invincible was the bad guy sort of comes up, especially when you inject 18 other Invincibles from different dimensions into the mix. A couple of super violent points, a couple of leg breaks, but yeah, very much a what if scenario, which a lot of it is a what if scenario. But you have that key line of there are 18 other Invincibles on Earth, and they're all trashing the place. But it's okay because they're not as strong as our Invincible. All right, well there you go. Then problem solved. Now I will say this: I've thoroughly enjoyed this series so far. I think they've done a really good job with it. I think they've done really well. I think it does this twofold thing of highlighting just how season 2 was not that strong, but it also highlights how much better series 3 is. Centers around this is what they're capable of. This is what series 1 was all about, etc., etc. So it's been great. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I really have enjoyed this series. So a lot of what I've just said about those 2 episodes kind of comes across as negative. For me, it's a lot to do with, I think it's like for a better way of saying it, the ass-kicking side of things. They do the fighting and the violence very well. If you go back to things like the original sort of Justice League cartoons and subsequent DC movies, they always felt like they were tethered, like they had a leash. Like, yes, you can destroy a mountain or a building or whatever, but they never sort of really touched on what's the other side of that. That building's very unlikely to be empty. It's only been more recent DC movie stuff where they've really sort of turned up the age rating, which has allowed them to turn up the violence, basically. Yeah, been super enjoyable. Been really enjoying it. Looking forward to. I think there might only be one other episode. I was trying to think how many episodes these series are. I don't think they run long. I don't know if they run more than 10 episodes. So there's only one other one listed on the coming next sort of thing. Now then, the reason that there's been no movies is because me and Lan have been watching The Blacklist. We've basically watched an episode a day. I apologise because I haven't written down how many episodes we've watched this week. I know that we watched episode 10 this evening. Something I pointed out was I felt it was very early in the process to get a double episode. So the episode we watched ended on a cliffhanger. I was like, that seems soon to be throwing in something like that. Season 1, episode 10. Might not have even been episode 10. 9? 10? The problem I've got is I just want to know. See previous statements. We've had some bits and bobs highlighted about the main character's parentage. I think we know that it's fairly obvious that the main character and the other main character are actually related, even though one of them doesn't know that. We've had the death of a parent, but turns out not really their parent, etc. As I think I've said already, it's Monster of the Week. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think by this point is maybe a bit of a tired trope, having done X number of series that have had X number of Monster of the Week type things. Little nitpicky things, like it's TV, so often the special effects aren't very good, so you've got to deal with that. The episode we watched this evening was basically just Die Hard. All I could think was that episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where they just keep going on about doing the Die Hard episode. And this was basically what this episode of The Blacklist was. It was just Die Hard. So much so that there's a bit where they were cutting through some pipes, and I turned around to Leanne, I was like, somebody's watched Die Hard then. She was like, yeah. Almost aggressively Die Hard. It was very much like we're not even hiding that we're doing a Die Hard episode. We've both said we honestly don't know how they're going to draw this out. There's something like 9 series of this, 8 or 9 series or something. You've got the what's the deal with this character? What's the deal with this character? What's the deal with these two people's relationship? What's happening about this? You're telling me they're going to carry that on for 9 series? Don't know. Obviously, last week's podcast was done a day late and $1 short. I imagine somebody's right now going, they're all $1 short. And I alluded to something about a computer game situation. So I'm going to talk a little bit about one computer game. I'm going to talk a lot more about another. I'm going to take a little drink before I do that. That's right, that's a pineapple beer. Yeah, boy. Star Wars Outlaws. I think I've known the whole time that I've been playing it up to this point. It just wasn't tickling the whatever. It wasn't scratching whatever itch. It wasn't fulfilling it. Basically, somebody took Jedi Survivor, removed all the Jedi stuff from it, and went, there you go. And I was like, what the fuck is this? 2 people I know who have played, one who has played and finished Star Wars Outlaws, has both said exactly the same thing. It gets better. My response to that was, no, it doesn't. And I will caveat that by saying, I am very much aware it gets better, quote unquote, gets better, past where I've got up to. But that's no good to me. Telling me it gets better past where I am when there is very little drawing me to want to play more to get past where I am. Other than that, oh, somebody says it gets better. Great. I unlocked a couple of bits and bobs which did make some aspects better. I managed to unlock a couple of upgrades for the speeder bike, which admittedly made things better. And then it wanted me to do this mission. It was like, go to this place and do this thing. And all it was a lot of climbing and a lot of jumping and a lot of timing and a lot of me falling off stuff and having to start the entire level again. Which was one of those things, a lot of it was mistakes made by me, so I've got to accept that that's a thing. However, having reached a particular point, leaving that area and going on to another area to do very much the same thing, to fall off at one point and have to start the whole area again, I nearly put the controller through the screen. What I can say is this: Star Wars Outlaws is super frustrating. Like, there's been a couple of very near rage quits. Now, I will say this: I have recently had to teach myself how to do the lockpicking system, because it has hands down the single worst lockpicking system I have ever used in any computer game ever. But my system of I'll just bash the button until it unlocks stopped working. So I basically had to try and muddle my way through. I reached a point where I was like, this game is a chore. It's not like there is no enjoyment here. I'm just grinding away for the promise of it gets better when it hasn't got better up to this point. So I made an executive decision. Life's too short. It's too short to be banging your head against a brick wall. I said this. I said, I have a game that I got 3 games for Christmas, 3 PlayStation games for Christmas. I have played and finished one of them. I have played and banged my head against for far too long now. It's time to see what the third one's like. Now, I played a trial for this game, and the trial was fine, but... So, game in question is Rise of the Ronin. And I already had the trial on PlayStation, put the disc in, needed absolutely no install whatsoever, just let me play. I was like, yeah, because you installed 93 gig when you installed that trial. Ultimately, I installed the entire game, and it was just had a trial. The trial is the beginning of the game, and I was like, oh, this game is hard. But although it was hard, I persevered with it and actually managed to complete the trial. That was that. That was the end of it. Fast forward 4 months, and here we are. I put the disc in, I put it on, and I was like, okay. I seem to remember being stuck, even in the trial. I seem to remember being stuck, and I started playing, and I was like, I can't get past this bit, I can't do this, I can't do that. Maybe I need to change my tact. Recently, I found out that Rise of the Ronin is essentially a Souls-like game, which is a terrible thing for me. However, it was described at one point as diet Souls-like. And I was like, now that's interesting to me. I've always wanted to play Souls-like games. I've always wanted to. I played and own, that is in the current text, Demon Souls. Not Dark Souls, Demon Souls, the game that started it all. Still own it. But they're just not for me. They're just too hard, and I find it to be a pointless endeavour. So I'm playing the game, and I'm like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And then I changed tact, I did a bit of dodging and weaving and whatever. And I managed to progress. And then I had to fight a boss. And I got beat. And I tried again and got beat instantly. And I tried again and got beat. And I got beat and I got beat. And I was like, feels like there's a combination of sort of button presses and dodges and all this, that and the other that I could probably do to actually do this. And it made me carry on. Made me keep going. And I managed to beat the boss. And I went, I mean, that's something. This basically opened up the start of the game. This basically took the game from, it's super linear up to this point. Now you've got an open world. Away you go. And I was like, cool. And then it said something that I almost wept at this point. It was like, hey, would you like to make the game ever so slightly easier? Not easy. You can't put it on easy or anything like that. But would you like to make the game just a little bit easier? You can select these two options. They're not like, here's easy mode or here's auto or anything. It was just, when you use a health item, it refills your health. And when you use the banners, like campfires or whatever they would be in the other Demon Souls-like games, you replenish the majority of your stuff. Would you like those options? I said, yes, please. They sound great. I then set off on my journey into the game Rise of the Ronin. And oh dearie me, this game grabbed hold of me by the short and curlies and said, I ain't letting go of you, my friend. I haven't played a game that has grabbed me like this in a while. This is the kind of game where I was wanting to say to my children, how about you go and find something to do so that Daddy can play computer games? I didn't do that, but it didn't stop me wanting to do that. Even if I thought I had half an hour of free time, I'd be like, I'm just going to pop and just play half an hour of this while these guys are occupied. It got hold of me something fierce. It is Diet Souls. It's, if you do the right things at the right time, then you'll win. And even if you don't do it at the right time, you might still win anyway. It's that. It's what I've always thought every Souls game should be. Every Souls game should be, you can make it easy if you want. You won't get the full benefit of the game, but you can. Going back to Jedi Survivor, that had that option. It had easy. Jedi Survivor is a Souls-like game, but you could make it easy. This is very much that. It's Souls-like, but it's easy. If you lose in a fight, you probably did it wrong. How about you just do it right next time? It's that. And I'm like, I am here for this. Anytime I get beat, I change the way I go about doing it and get beat again. And then I change the way I do it, I get beat again. But that time I got further, so that means that is right but wrong. Okay, let's work with that. If I do it like this, but I do it like that and I change this, will that get me a better result? No, that was actually worse. Okay, so we know this bit works, just not enough to win. What if I change it like this? Does this work? Yes, that worked and I managed to progress. Cool, moving on. It's that. It's if you didn't do it, if you didn't win, you did it wrong. So how about you do it right? Why can't all of the other games do this? It's mental to me that this is the game that's come along and gone, you could just do it like this and it'd still be okay. I've played a lot of it. I fully expect that it will change at some point in time and I can't play it anymore. And I am kind of okay with that in some ways. I hope it doesn't. I hope I manage to play it and keep playing it. I have played a lot. I have unlocked a lot of the map. I seem to be playing well. I'm leveling up. I'm doing all of the things that you think it wants you to do. But I'm scared. Some point it's going to turn on me, isn't it? So, that's that. Here's the other thing, and this is, in some ways, the thing that makes me feel weird about it. At this point in time, the game has given me 100% of the information required to play this game. And I have ignored 90% of it. At this point in time, it keeps talking about this parry system. Like, if somebody attacks you, you press a button. And you deflect like all of the Souls games do. Or you can deflect it, or you can do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, cool. Can someone tell me which button that is? Because I haven't got a fucking clue. I literally use dodge. And I know somebody right now is going, I mean, that kind of does the same thing. Not according to every video or tutorial or anything I've read online. It's all about this Spark system, that's like their version of the parry system. I haven't done it once. I've probably been playing, I don't know, 15 to 20 hours so far. I've never used it. I don't understand. I'm terrified it's going to put me in a position where I need to use it. But it hasn't so far. I'm so baffled. It keeps giving me all these instructions. It's like, hey, you've unlocked this part of the game where it means this, and you do this, and if you want to do this, then you can do this, but if you want to do that, then you can do that. And that changes the entire course of the whole game. And I go, cool. I've no idea what you're talking about. I literally have no idea what you're talking about. I've got no clue. I'm just going to keep playing until somebody tells me I can't. How about that? And that's it. That's it as a game. I don't understand any of it. I don't know how I'm managing to keep playing. I fully expected I was going to have traded it in by now. Probably with Star Wars, that was. I am simultaneously baffled, scared, and excited. It's a game I want to play. I go and I sit down. This is the first time I've really sat down with the PlayStation in months and months and months. It's been non-stop. VR, Steam Deck. VR, Steam Deck. If I'm not playing VR, I'm playing Steam Deck. Last few days, neither of those items have been turned on, and I feel pained to say that. Especially with the VR, because I've got a VR game I've been playing. That's right, I've been playing Arcane Age. Talk about a game that I haven't got a freaking clue about. I don't know what's happening in this game, and that's the biggest problem with it. At no point in time does that game give you a fucking clue. It doesn't give you a marker. The map's terrible. Right, I'll give you an example. At one point, this guy says to me, I need you to go and collect a glass vial that looks like this. When you find it, bring it to me. I said, cool. I went off, I found it, all on my own. I did it. I went back to where I'd spoke to the guy, and he was gone. Could I find him in that area? No, I couldn't. Couldn't find him anywhere. I went round that area 3 times. Round and round and round and round. I tried every nook and cranny. I tried every person there to speak to. Couldn't speak to anybody. I even climbed an entire building using climbing axes and wood. Got to the top, found a secret chest. Didn't find him though, did I? Decided to try going to a completely different area, and I walked through the door to find some guy going, hey, over here. I was like, oh, here you are. How the fuck was I supposed to know that? It's very much a game that gives you no direction whatsoever. None at all. Nothing. But expects you to be able to just get on with it. And largely, I have up to this point, but it's really annoying. Having no clue where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing. I've slowly started learning some bits, like I think at some point I mentioned that there was like this blueprint system. I had no idea. I thought I'd picked up a blueprint, but apparently I hadn't. Yeah, turned out I had. I just needed to make the item from the blueprint. No idea. Completely stumbled across that. I don't know if it's a good game and it's just me playing it wrong, or if it's not a good game and that's the reason. I don't know. There's a lot of VR stuff I want to be doing at the moment. I want for them to have fixed Into the Radius 2's beta so I can properly give that a go, because that looked really interesting. I want to go back and finish Alien Rogue Incursion, because the updates that they've done to it have made it better. I want to go back and finish Arcane Age. Dead Effect 2, was it? Was that the other one I've been playing? Problem is, man, like I say, Rise of Ronin has got me bad. Tune in next week to find out if I actually managed to play and finish any of these games, or if I rage quit them all and threw them in the bin. That's it. That's all we've got. So I will catch you next time. So there you go. What do you think to that? Another one done. Another one gone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Before you leave us, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. Check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we have social media links and an email button. And that way you can get in touch with us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Yeah, that's it for this one. Till next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
This has been another episode of CookieCast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share and subscribe.